$1 million.
This video is not clickbait. MLB and Major League Baseball are going to give me $1 million in 10 years, because what we're going to be doing today is we will be participating in the brand new event or competition. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's called the Vault. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the description down below. Who does not want $1 million? So I challenge you all to go do this, whether you want to do it with me or you want to do it after the video is done. But it's pretty simple. The reason why they call it the Vault is because you're going to have to come to it in a couple years. In 2029, when that year ends, how old am I going to be? I'm going to be in my 30s by the time that this challenge is done, but I'll probably want a Ferrari at 33 or something like that. So hopefully we can make every single prediction right. We have 9 categories, and it's very simple. Like I said, you have to try and predict the leaders in all of these categories for the next decade. So we have who is going to smash the home runs this decade. Is it going to be Mike Trout? Is it going to be Ronald Acuna Jr.? Next up, we have hits. Then you guys can see the rest: wins, strikeouts, team wins, World Series titles, MVP awards, Cy Young awards, and All-Star games. So the one thing I wanted to do in this video is I did not want to do any research. This is all going to be gut instinct, because if you want to take a professional approach to it, more than welcome to. But for me, I'm fuzzy. I'm just going to do it the fun way, and we're going to try and predict every single person right, because that $1 million, if I win it, I'm telling you guys right now, it's March 9th, 2020. If I win this $1 million, I will give away 50 grand to some of the people that are still subscribed. Like, I might not even be on YouTube. You guys might be in your careers and might not even need them $1 million. So let's see if we can win. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start off. Remember, the link is in the description down below if you guys want to go ahead and participate in the Vault. In order to win $1 million, you have to get all of these right. So we're going to start with home runs. Select a player. The one thing I do like is over on the right, not only does it give you the player, but it gives you their age as well, because I would probably pick Nelson Cruz, because I think since 2016 or 17, Nelson Cruz is number 1 in home runs. Then you have Nolan Arenado. I didn't do the research. I saw that on an MLB Network graphic, so I just have good baseball memory. But you want to factor in age as well as power. So Nolan Arenado, he's 28 years old. He plays in Colorado, but for me, he might not be on the Rockies for a much longer of a time. If that is even proper English, I have no idea what I just said. But I want to look at someone like Cody Bellinger, who's now in a great lineup with a lot of protection. I want to look at someone like, yes, I know that Alex Bregman say what you want about the Astros, but in 2019, MLB said they played clean, and Bregman had an all-time historic season, so you could even go with him because he's 25 years old. But what I'm going to do is I am going to keep it simple. Pete Alonso, in 10 years, is going to be 35 years old. Do I think that he is going to hit a good amount of home runs up until then? Yes. Also, Ronald Acuna Jr. has immense power. He's 22, so he has a 3-year difference in age. I mean, Yordan Alvarez is 22, so you could go with him. Javier Baez, he does get injured a little bit, so I don't know if he's going to be a safe pick. Joey Gallo, if he stays healthy and if he plays until he's 36 years old, he could lead this list. You also have Aaron Judge, who's 27. You have Francisco Lindor. Keston Hiura could be a good pick. But what I'm going to do is I am going to play it safe because of what Pete Alonso did, and also the fact that he genuinely does stay pretty healthy. I will be picking Pete Alonso as my guy to smash the most home runs in this next decade. So now we're going to go to the most hits for 2000, or the decades of the 2020. So Tim Anderson is 26. I am going to give you a name right now that I am pretty certain is going to lead baseball in hits a couple times in his career. We saw it in the first 9 or so games that he had a consecutive double streak, an MLB record of 9 games. Bo Bichette. I might get some flack for this because, to be honest with you, I think that Jose Altuve, Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., these guys are all going to be some pretty good picks. And also, Luis Arias, do not sleep on this guy. He is someone that is going to be getting 180 to 200 base hits for quite some time. But I just think that Bo Bichette, the fact that he is a contact hitter, I think that he is going to be kind of a younger Xander Bogaerts, someone who is going to get 190 to 200 base hits. So, not Bogaerts. I'm going to go with Bo Bichette. You guys will have to let me know if I made the right pick right there. But I think Bo is a pretty sneaky, but also a good pick right there. Wins for pitcher. So again, you have to factor in age. So I am not going to go with Trevor Bauer. Do I go with Luis? Okay, so most of these guys are fairly... I don't even know who Devi Garcia is. He's probably a top prospect. Oh, you know what I could do? Is I could probably change hits to Jason Dominguez because he's a top prospect for the Yankees. He's 17 years old, though, so I don't know when he's going to get called up. So, again, I'm playing it safe. I might be a biased Indians fan, but because Shane Bieber is going to be the new ace of the Indians going forward, and he's 24 years old, I am going to have to choose between Walker Buehler and Shane Bieber. Also, Garrett Cole, I don't know where he's at on this list. Don't sleep on Casey Mize either. He had a rough start in spring training a couple days ago, but I think that he's going to be good. I think that Chris Paddock is going to be good, and he's 24 years old. I did not know that Sixto Sanchez was 21. He was part of the JT Realmuto trade, but I'm going to go ahead and choose Shane Bieber as the most wins the next 10 years. I think that he is going to be Corey Kluber 2.0, so I think that's pretty safe right there. Strikeouts for a pitcher going forward. This one is where it gets a little bit tough because, as we've seen by Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, people can get better as they age. So you could go with Mike Clevenger, who's 29. I actually just met up with Mike Clevenger. Awesome guy. Max Fried, I don't think that he's going to strike out a lot of people, and he's 26. So a lot of guys are going to have great careers, but they're not going to lead all the pitchers in strikeouts. So for the next decade, if we're talking about guys that are going to rack up the most amount of strikeouts considering their age until 2029, I am going to go with Walker Buehler. He is someone, I've seen him pitch live in the NLCS when they were facing the Brewers. I was looking up at the board and I think, it's the 8th inning, and he's throwing 98 miles an hour. So I almost see a young Justin Verlander in Walker Buehler. So considering his age and his stuff and velocity, I think that eventually he will probably work into a workhorse and strike out 300, maybe 250 hitters per season. So I think that's a pretty safe pick. Walker Buehler for the most strikeouts. I wanted to go with Garrett Cole, but I don't know how he's going to be pitching at 36, 37 years old. Team wins. Which club will record the most wins during the upcoming decade? I am going to go with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Do I go with the Dodgers or the Yankees? Because I think the Yankees, they have a pretty good squad, but they're injured so often. Aaron Judge is on the shelf. You have Luis Severino on the shelf. James Paxton, Giancarlo Stanton. There are so many injuries. So while I do think they're going to be great, I'm talking about the New York Yankees, I think the Dodgers have the farm system. They have draft picks as well. But even though they have the most team wins, I think the most World Series titles is... I might get some flack for this, but I mean, I don't really care because I'm trying to give you guys an unbiased video without trying to factor in what you guys think. I think the most World Series titles for the next decade, I think the Yankees are back in business. I think that Aaron Boone has a pretty good grasp over what they're doing in New York. Yes, they're going to have injuries, but the fact that they have Clint Frazier and Mike Tauchman, they have so much money to spend, they can replace these guys fairly easy, and I just think that they are going to win 90 to 100 games for the next decade and probably rack up 2, maybe 3 World Series, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Yankees win 2 over the next decade. MVP awards. Now this is, you could pretty much call it the Mike Trout Award. I think his middle name is it Jeffrey? Is it Michael Nelson? You guys will have to let me know. But who will win the most MVP awards this decade? So we can see a full slew of amazing talent. We have Ronald Acuna Jr., Pete Alonso, Yordan, Nolan Arenado. I don't think that Arenado is going to win more than 1 in his career because of the whole Coors Field effect. I tried to get Joey Gallo's opinion, but because he's never played in Coors Field, he didn't really have much to say. But here we go. Wander Franco is 19 years old. This guy could be special playing for the Tampa Bay Rays. You have Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Francisco Lindor, and that is who I'm going to pick. Francisco Lindor, because he's young and he has not hit his peak years, Mike Trout is going to win, I think, 1 more. But I think Francisco Lindor, if he can play Gold Glove defense, maybe I'm being a little bit biased. Actually, let me think about this real quick. So I'm going Lindor right now, but if I look at all these other guys, there's just so much talent. I mean, maybe Juan Soto, maybe it could be Mike Trout. I think Christian Yelich, because he just got that brand new deal. So Christian Yelich is 28 years old. Mike Trout is 28. Who will win the most? So you have to consider, is there anyone good enough to be a 2 or 3-time MVP in the next 10 seasons? Actually, you know what? I love Francisco Lindor, but I'm going to change my pick because Mike Trout, he's going to be great. He's got better teammates now with Anthony Rendon, so with the better protection. He's also playing better defense, or at least he wants to. His arm has gotten better. His defense is getting better in spring training, so he wants a Gold Glove. So if he can improve his defense and stay an absolute all-time great hitter, yeah, Mike Trout, I'm going to go with him. Cy Young Awards. Ooh, Cy Young Awards for the next decade. I think because he's the age is there. You could go with Jack Flaherty, who had a .91 second half in the for the Cardinals last year in 2019. You got Mackenzie Gore. So I do like the fact that they have a lot of young guys as well. Jesus Luzardo is going to be a stud when he eventually gets called up. And maybe if Michael Kopech comes back and he's healthy, I've always called him a young. Him and Walker Buehler remind me a lot of each other. But for right now, because Garrett Cole, he has the stuff. He's on the squad. He's going to be winning a lot of games. He's going to strike out a lot of guys. Also, Mike Clevenger, he's been great. Shane Bieber's 24 years old, so that the age argument really is in his favor. I'm going to go with Garrett Cole for the most Cy Young awards because I think that he can win 1, probably 2 with the Yankees. And then last but not least, the All-Star games. Who will be named to the most All-Star games the next 10 seasons? So I think because of what happened with the Astros, I don't think that you're going to see a lot of Astros on the All-Star games. I mean, maybe Houston is going to rally behind them because they have a ton of votes. Joe Adell, I don't think I've brought him up, but he's 20. He's supposed to be like the next Justin Upton in his prime. So he's got the arm, he's got the glove, he's got the speed. Think about Byron Buxton, but if Byron Buxton could hit. That is what Joe Adell is projected at. But let's keep it real. Cody Bellinger is 24 years old. He's won an MVP. I think that he is going to lead MLB All-Star teams for the next 10 seasons because he's got a great fan base behind him. He's got an amazing ceiling for his stats and the ability to perform at a peak level. If he can do a little bit better in the postseason, I think that will improve his stock as well. Even though the All-Star game is a regular season award and accolade, I think that if he does better, people will view him a little bit different, kind of a Mike Trout-esque player, but in the National League. So these are my picks. Most home runs for the next decade is going to be Pete Alonso, followed by hits with Bo Bichette, wins Shane Bieber, strikeouts for a pitcher, Walker Buehler, team wins the Dodgers, World Series titles, the New York Yankees, MVP awards, the man, the myth, the legend, and already top 5 player in baseball history, Mike Trout. Cy Young awards to Garrett Cole. I almost wanted to go Jacob deGrom because I think this dude can win 6, maybe 7, just like Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson. When they got older, they got better. And then last but not least, All-Star games with Cody Bellinger. I think I wanted to go. It could be Mike Trout. It could be Mookie Betts. I think that the last one is a toss-up for a lot of players. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If there is any prospect that you think I missed on, maybe it's Casey Mize, maybe it's Joe Adell, maybe it's Jason Dominguez or Wander Franco. If I should have put them on any of these categories, please let me know in the comment section down below. But that's going to do it. Good luck trying to win $1 million. Again, if I win this, I will give away 50 grand in 2030 when I get my fat paycheck. So let's see. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, MLB, for making this happen. And I'll see you guys in 2030. Peace.